Question 7. General. References to pyramids are found in many other places. 7.1. Open the 7 years spreadsheet. 7.1.1. Copy the data from cells A1 to B6 in the chart worksheet to cells A2 to F3 in the data worksheet. The copied data in the data worksheet must appear as follows. Right, let's go have a look. So we need to copy this, take it to data. All right, so this is in the opposite direction, hey? So we're going to paste it, not like that, but transposed. There you go. Now let's see if that looks like what they want it to look like yet. No, do you see? This one is right aligned, so we just need to fix that then. Then we've got it done. There you go. Now it's right. 7.1.2. Work in the chart worksheet. Modify the chart to display as follows. Okay, let's go have a look what it looks like. I'm actually going to just keep it like this and see if I can make it look the same. All right, so I want data labels to display and I don't want all the ranges. So I'm going to, I'm going to go to chart design, select data. I'm going to untick the ranges that I don't want because I don't want those ranges. So just have 2017, 2018, and 2019. I'm going to add data labels. There you go, much better. And then the last thing, because it's 3 marks, hey? So I've done 2 things already, is, the legend over here. You see? It's only every second. So it's not every 10%, it's every 20%. So we need to right click then, format axis. And then the major units is then 0.2, I guess. There you go. Wonderful. Okay. 7.1.3. Save the pyramid chart as a 7-chart JPEG image in your examination folder. Right, now there are many ways to skin this cat. Let's see. If we right click, sometimes it actually allows us, save as picture. That's the easiest way possible. You could actually just have done that and said JPEG file, and they said it should be 7-chart, and it's already a JPEG, so it's not necessary to change it then. That's the one way. If your version of Office doesn't have that option, you could use your snipping tool. So use your snipping tool and cut it. And then you can just save this as 7-chart. So same thing. I'm just going to call it 2 now because I've done it twice. Okay, so that's how you would do that question. Work in the visitor's worksheet. 7.1.4. A named range has already been created for the amounts in column F. Insert a function in cell J3 that uses the named range to determine how many of the amounts in the named range are greater than 14,000 Rand. Greater than 14,000 Rand. Okay. So, visitors. Column F. There you go. Okay. So, what you could try is usually if you just select all the data, it shows you the name over there. You see? Amount spent. Okay. So, that's the one way. The other way, if you weren't sure which cells to select, would be you could probably just search name. There you go. Name manager. Then you can also check what the name is. Amount spent. And the last way is actually if you just type the function and you just use the right range, it's actually going to use that range name anyway. So yeah, you used the right range anyway. I don't know if it's even possible to type the range in without using the named range because it's already been named. And now we want it, now I've forgotten the question already, greater than 14,000. So it's greater than 14,000. Now you'll know, and hopefully you remember, that if Countif, you can't just type it in like that. A greater than actually needs to have your double quotation marks. You'll see it says invalid. Luckily, if you actually use your function builder and you say okay, it's going to add in the double quotation marks for you. So that's why I always like using the function builder. Okay. 7.1.5, a validation rule. Hang on, what's going on here? You don't know about validation rules in Excel, right? Okay, so let me just tell you, calm down. That's what they do. They will always throw you a curveball in the paper, and you'll know if it's something that you don't know and you've never even heard about in this question, then that's fine. Then they have to make it so easy that you can figure it out yourself. So let's just go through it and see how to do that. Okay. So, a validation rule has been set on cells E2 to E194 to obtain data from the list in cells M4 to M9. Okay, let's just go have a look at that. So, this is the range that data validation has been put on, and it's actually got a list, and this list is coming from the data here. Okay, right. They said M4 to M9, I think they said. Yes, okay. Now, however, there are errors and omissions in the validation lists in cells M4 to M9, which cause data in column E to be invalid. Correct the validation list and update the validation rule so that the data in column E becomes valid. Hint: to identify the invalid data in column E, use the circle invalid data option from the data validation icon in the data tools group. All right, let's go have a look at how to do that. So I'm just going to select this whole column and let's just search that. Circle. Oh no. Okay, they told us where to go. Look, let's just see. They said circle invalid data from the data validation icon in the data tools group. Okay, so it's got to be data. There's data tools. Here's data validation. Circle invalid data. All right, so these all are invalid data. Okay, this makes sense because org and gov isn't there. Right, now I don't know what ord is doing there. I don't know if org is maybe supposed to be ord. Let's just see if we can find ord in here. I don't know if such a domain, but let's just see. I'm just going to find and see ORD, if I can find it. No, okay, so it doesn't exist in this range. So I'm sure that this was supposed to be ORG, and then I'm supposed to just add gov as the last option. Now they said we're also supposed to update this list. Okay, so org was fixed now, but gov is not added yet. So I'm going to select the whole column and I'm going to go to data validation. Okay, you'll see allow list and the source is M4 to M8. It must be to M9. Okay, and now it's got all the options. Fantastic. Save and close. 7.2. Open the 7 invitation word processing document. Complete a mail merge as follows. 7.2.1. Use the 7 mail database as a data source for the 7 invitation mail merge document. Okay, so if we're going to do a mail merge, basically we're going to go to the mailings tab. We're going to say start mail merge. This is a page, it doesn't have labels, so it's not labels, we're not doing envelopes, so it is a letter. Okay, they're telling us first what the data is. So use an existing list. I'm going to go choose the list, It's in 7mail, they told us. Okay. Now, they said, use the 7mail database as a data source for the 7 invitation mail merge document. Edit the data source recipient list to include only the data of those visitors who have an edu domain type and who are born after 1960. Okay, let's see. So you'll see they start with start and they end with finish, and generally they give you the steps in this order. So we've just added the data source. Now we're going to edit this recipient list. So we are looking for a edu domain type, and the age must be over 60. Ooh, how are we going to do that? Okay. So I guess we can probably do it with a birth date, eh? So let's do the domain type. So I'm going to say filter, and I'm going to say domain type is equal to edu, and birth date is less than, and now I need to work out what people's birth date needs to be for them to be 60 years old. Okay, let me just read the question properly. It says, and who are born after 1960. It doesn't say who are 60 years old. So let's just do this properly. I was just starting to work out how old they need to be. Right, so we have to say the birth date is greater than, because they said after, hey? Not equals to. After 1960, yes. So it doesn't include it. So it will be 1960, 1231. Okay. All right. So there I've got my recipient list. Let's just have a look. It's got edu domain, and the birth dates are all after 1960. Okay. Great stuff. Now let's see, the next question is replace the text name with a merged field name. Okay, so we're just going to add, it's just this one. We're basically inserting, instead of this placeholder, we're going to insert the actual field name. Okay, we can preview to check that it works. It works, we've checked. Then add a field in the footer of the document to show the date and time when the document is opened. Okay, so that's easy enough. The footer. So I'm going to go edit footer, and I'm just going to insert the date and time. Update automatically. One of these. Okay. Close. And then we're done. Let's see if they asked us to merge it. Yes, they say save the invitation document, and then as a next question, 7.2.2, complete the mail merge and save the merged document as 7 invitation merge. So now we can actually say mailings, finish and merge, edit individual documents, all. This is the completed merge document, file, save as, and it's 7 invitation merged. Okay. Right. And it's going to ask me to save again, so we can be sure it's done. Right, now you can just double check you've got the right file in the same folder, and they both have the day that you've actually worked on it. And that's it. I hope this helped everyone, and that you are more prepared for your paper that you're writing in the future.